You want to know? I found out some shit about the OJ case 2 days ago that I bet y'all don't even know.
Give it to me.
Do you know who Glenn Rogers is?
He lived.
Glenn Rogers, better known as the cross-country killer, was Nicole Brown Simpson's handyman.
What do you mean?
That's crazy too. And then why the police never said that or talked about that? You know, we should have been acquiring those type of facts if you present somebody to be a murderer or, you know, charging somebody of murder.
He was her handyman was a serial killer. He was convicted. He killed 4 blondes. He was convicted of killing 4 blondes. That was his thing. He was from Ohio. He was her handyman, which means he was at her house a couple times a week. If y'all look it up if you think I'm bullshitting. His name is Glenn Rogers, known as the cross-country killer or the Casanova killer. He was convicted of killing 4 women in 1995, and during the time of the murders and for years before that, he was her handyman.
And
That's crazy if the police knew that the handyman, you know, was a serial killer, and you never tell motherfuckers this shit.
Never knew.
And they never brought that shit up in the media.
But that's the type of games, though, the media play, though. Once a narrative is spent and is making money, they not deviating from that. They need to make that money.
Well, they painted her as a victim in the media. Like she wasn't known as the bust down she was.
She was a bust down for sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like her father was on there crying and stuff. He never said I lost control of her. And because if she was on, I mean, like we know why she was with OJ. OJ had paper at the time. You dig what I'm saying? No, I believe you, Craig. I believe you. I'm just saying. You know, OJ.
I haven't did any research about the handyman serial killer dude, Glenn something that he was talking about, but I'm old enough to know about the media. They play them type of fucking games. Eddie Griffin said it best. It's called television programming. They programming your ass. So they try to get you to feel a certain way about motherfuckers that necessarily is not true about what they saying. Everybody know they lie all the goddamn time.
OJ passed, and you know what I'm saying? They made jokes about OJ, and I don't believe OJ was no saint at all. But the grace the woman received was unfair, if you ask me.
Definitely.
But that's pretty much that's pretty much in all lanes. I watched it go down with my own parents. So.
What do you mean? Give an example, D.
Well, because every time we call, if there was a big fight or argument, but it didn't last very long because he left, thank God, you know, by the time I was 5. But anytime we would call to get help or report, they would always take her side. She was the instigator. She was the one that would do it. We watched it. So
that's crazy too, because a lot of women do that shit and then play the fucking victim. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing it. They never look at the woman that can be the fucking perpetrator. It's not dudes all the time or niggas or men that's doing this shit. It's some fucking toxic ass, masculine ass, want to be men like women. And I'm not talking about the lesbians or the studs or the dykes or anything like that. I'm talking about feminine women having masculine ass energy. These especially black women, because that's all I can really talk about. They'll call you a bitch ass nigga in a minute. Mexican women might call you idiot or bendejo or something like that, but they not trying to de-emasculate you as a man. I don't know what that type of shit is with black women and being toxic, and I'm not going to say it's all of them because it's not. But some of them hood motherfuckers, they call you a bitch ass nigga in a minute.
The lady always gets off. Actually, you know what? I think I've seen that picture before.
His brother,
that one. I've seen that.
His brother told the police, "My brother murdered Nicole Brown Simpson. He admitted to me he murdered her, and he actually admitted to murdering her. But the narrative was already spun, and they were making so many billions of dollars selling this false narrative about OJ at the time that they weren't interested in anything but OJ slander."
That's true. The news is not there to help people or keep people, you know, together. It's their job to divide and create narratives. No matter what the narrative is, it's not going to be helpful. That's their job. So that's why they put so many blacks and Mexicans on the news versus white people that do crimes. And they do a lot of crimes too. But they're spinning a narrative. They need you to think a certain way about a certain genre of people. I seen a show. There was some black dudes in Japan, and he was going around asking Japanese people how they feel about black people, and they was like, "Hey, we can only judge them versus what we see in movies and television." But everybody knows there's not a race of people where everybody has a blanket type of treatment to where all of them are the same. There's good people in certain races. There's bad people in certain races. Come on, bro.
Then I watched some shit the other day. You got to watch when you get to the crib, Corey. After he was found innocent, I don't know if y'all remember, OJ did a 3-hour documentary where he went over all the evidence in the case, himself, and walked you through it, where they found it in the crib. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was weird to see him in this state because as a 41-year-old man now, I now see, all that nigga had was really his reputation. So even though he knew he didn't do it, he was still trying to salvage his reputation because he was, I would say he was naive enough to think that people wanted the truth. They didn't give a.
That's true. People don't want the truth. They want the narrative, the shock value. How it make you look, ooh, and then they jump on the goddamn bandwagon. Come on, man. Just like this Diddy shit that's going on now. I think it's guilty, though. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's something deeper than that. And I'll get into that later.
Fuck about the truth. They just cared about the story. And it's just weird how we thought a not guilty verdict as black people, we thought that was enough. We really should have stood by that dude's side and really fought with him after that because they tried to ruin his life. They tried to ruin his kid.
I agree with that. Nobody stood by him afterwards as a race of people. Man, we know OJ wasn't doing that motherfucking shit, man. Come on, bro. And then they was already fabricating evidence and shit. That happened so much even with the Rodney King thing. I'm old enough to remember that. They didn't stand by Rodney's side. Rodney got the shit beat out of him on national TV. And the officers just got off, walked away scot-free, no charges, no nothing. There was some riots, but I never seen riots kind of change too much. I mean, they get some kind of short-term gratification from stealing little knickknacks from stores and here and there, but it doesn't change anything.
His lives, and it's just fucked up because I was under the assumption that he was guilty for years. You know what I'm saying? But when you really research the case, it's fucked up. We watched the nigga get railroaded, and he really didn't do this shit.